Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Saturday the 26th of November. Right, you're going to have to bear with me on this one. Right, I don't know if you need to get a pen and paper, but I'd get a drink if I were you. Pause this video. First of all, could you give me a quick like? The likes for good luck seem to be working. So, if you can all give me a like, that'd be fantastic. And at least all those superstitious people can at least hit the day running when Saturday's selections start. So we've got a football bet and we've also got a horse racing bet. I know a lot of you don't have the football bet, but it may be worth having it, but reduce the stakes accordingly because obviously if you have a decent day, it kind of rubs salt in your wounds if you don't put the bet on. So I haven't actually added the bet up, so I'm going to do that now. 15. It comes to about £55. Yeah, it's quite a lot. So if you're going to stake £25 or 27.50-ish, split everything by half that you see. I know it's not easy because of the pence wise, but anyway, I'm going to get into it now. I'm going to go straight to the horse racing bet. So here we go. So these selections, basically, I picked, I think it was 9 selections. And unfortunately, it was just too many 4-folds, 5-folds, and whatever is. So I've had to mix them up a bit. So I've had £1 each way patent and a 50p each way treble for the first bit. So let's get into it. I can't really talk through the horses, but I'll try and give a very brief reason. So as I said, £1 each way patent and a 50p each way treble. The first selection is Letterston Lady at 11-1 in the 12.15 at Newbury, paying 3 places instead of 2. This horse has improved with every run so far. There are question marks over quite a few of the others. However, the others, or some of the others, do have to underperform for this horse, in my opinion, to reach place. The second selection is Dingo Dollar at 10-1 in the 3.25 at Newcastle. This horse, I believe, came third in the race last year. It's one of the proven stayers. There are quite a few. It's a bit interesting race, right? There are quite a few that have only ran up to 2.5 mile, and there are, in my opinion, there are question marks over the first 2 in the betting. Don't get me wrong; they're very decent horses, but there are question marks. And the third selection is in the evening. Well, not quite the evening, but heading towards the evening or the evening races at Wolverhampton. The third selection is Berwick Law at 18-1 in the 4.20 at Wolverhampton, paying 4 places instead of 3. If this one goes straight to the front and gets an easy lead, it could be my nap of the day. However, I've been pulling my hair out over this race because Godolphin's got one in it, rated about 70. Well, they don't have many horses rated 70. And if they're rated 70 in a handicap, they normally win because they've got... It's too big a stable to have horses that poor and not win. But as I'm saying that, Michael Stout has also got one in there, rated 62. Like, what's that all about? So, in my opinion, I think those horses could still be there to lower their handicap marks even further. And I think this horse, during the beginning part of its campaign, it was near the front. On its reappearance, I think Mark Johnson's had a poor season. So a lot of his horses, well, some of his horses are reappearing, towards the back end for the all-weather. So this made its reappearance at Chelmsford, and it was held up towards the back. Well, Mark Johnson's horses generally don't want holding up towards the back. They like to run the races and be allowed to run, not being held up. As I say, they like to be near the front or leading. So it's got first-time cheap pieces. I think if this goes straight to the front, gets a relatively easy lead, it could be a very difficult horse to pass. Or if it gets beat easily, it's probably an absolute monkey. But I do think it's a very interesting horse. So we're going to skip the treble. It's the same horses. Right. At Bangor, the ground is going to be absolutely desperate. and I've looked at some of the races, and one of the races, I can't remember which one it is now, it doesn't really matter. There is a handicap chase where a lot of the fancied runners, or the vast majority of the field, have hardly had any runs over chase fences. Well, horses making the debuts or second or third runs over chase fences can be a bit vulnerable. But on heavy ground, I think you're asking loads of questions there. And I think it's a 12:23 I'm talking about, where Maracuja, don't get wrong, it's bang out of form. But I think they could ride a very quiet race on it and sneak it into a minimum of a place. And and I think that I'm hoping for I'm hoping for a win, but I'm hoping for a minimum of place by basically other horses underperforming, and that's what a lot of these horses are about. It's like these horses basically, if they're betting on the first three, I'm looking at this horse on form to be thereabouts fourth or fifth. So I'm looking for a horse or horses to underperform because a lot of them are very, very tasty prices. So enough waffling. So the first selection is Maracuja. I've left it to SP in the 12:23 at Bangor. If you want a cash out option, you will need to take the prices. The second selection is Hello Judge, SP in the 12:30 at Newcastle. The third selection is Kitty's Light. I backed this recently. I do tend to find if the horse doesn't run when I tip it, there's a good chance in the next 3 or 4 runs that I tend to see that it normally wins. So if it's this race that I'm aiming it for, it's got a cracking chance. It was never put in the race last time. So the third selection is Kitty's Light, SP in the 120 at Newbury. And the fourth selection is Dio Vivant, or Do Vivant. Do Vivant. SP in the 128 at Bangor. The fifth selection is Diabolo de Rouette at 66-1 in the 5-3, paying 6 places instead of 4. That's at Newbury. And the final selection, once again, is Dingo Dollar at SP in the 325 at Newcastle. The reason why I've gone for Diabolo de Rouette and taken the prize, the reason I've taken the prize is I don't think it'll get much bigger than 66-1, especially with it being a Nicky Henderson horse. So what I've then complemented the bet with, I've bumped up the mini bets in it. So I've had 20 pence each way doubles, same horses. All this was put on at the same time, by the way. And then I've had 10 pence each way trebles and 10 pence each way fourfolds, all put on at the same time. That's an old football bet. So let's get on to Saturday's football bet. So unfortunately, it's the FA Cup. It's not quite how it used to be, in my opinion, but well, you can see that there. That's my £2 Paddy Power bet builder. Ignore that. I've just basically put it on just for the sake of it being on. So this is a tenner in total, the entire bet. I've had £6 treble, over 2.5 goals treble in the FA Cup. These are just over 2.5 goals in the match. This is not any particular team to win, just over 2.5 goals in the match. So if all 3 matches have 3 goals or more, you will win. So it's a £6 treble. Sheffield Wednesday match, Shrewsbury match, Barnsley match. Same matches again, over 3.5 goals. And it's a £2, sorry, that was a £6 stake, the previous one. The next one is a £2.75 treble, over 3.5 goals. Sheffield Wednesday, Shrewsbury match, and Barnsley match. That makes not just short of 90 quid. And finally, the one that pays for the day, ka-ching, it's a £1.25 treble, over 4.5 goals treble. Same teams, Sheffield Wednesday match, Shrewsbury match, and Barnsley match. And that makes 235 if it comes in. I'll just let you know now. I've had one that's come in. In fact, I've had two. I've had 2 that's come in, sorry, so far since we started. So very tasty. One made 700, and I think, what? No, sorry. One made 1,500, but I cashed out for 800, and the other one made 700. So that's all the bets. But what? If you're still listening up at this point, give me a like and subscribe. But wait, I spoke to Flat Cap Callum, I am aware that a lot of you follow him that follow this channel as well. Well, I'm going to see what selections he puts out for Wolverhampton in the evening, if at all that he does. So I might mix some of my selections that I decide to pick later on with some of his and see what I can come up to. Because I know a lot of you really like the tips that he gives out. Obviously, neither of us, we're both like up and down. We'll have good days, bad days, but I think you might find it interesting that we both put our heads together, or ultimately he tips the horses and I choose which ones of his that I want to pick with my own selections with it. It might be a lucky 15, it might be a lucky 31, it might be some forecasts, and it might even be some of those doubles and trebles. You know, we pick 2 or 3 horses in the same race and mix them up. It might be one of those. So come back about 11:30 and the video should be up there. 11:30, 12 o'clock. So anyway, it's an 11-minute video. I apologise for that, but if you are still here, you are a devoted, dedicated subscriber. Click like, post it anywhere you want to. All I say is thank you very much for following it. It means a lot. Hopefully let's get up to 500 subscribers. I think I'm stuck on about 4, 5, 6. So anyway, the very best of luck. Everything's crossed. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.